Now that it's working, let's write a quick test. It's not as hard as it sounds, actually, because there's a nice generated test for us. Let's take a look. It's in, probably guess, it's in test mailers, user mailer test. So you can see it's got a bunch of assertions pre-written for us. Of course, we've seen the assert equal assertion before, but there's a new one, assert match. What this does is a regular expression match. So this will check to see that the string hi appears somewhere in the encoded version of the mail. You can also do something like this. You can actually do a regular expression search. It's a very powerful method for doing assertions on content. We can save this and see if it passes. I suspect not. You can see we got the same error that we had in the preview. There's an argument error, wrong number of arguments on line 9, which is, right, actually what, no, it's, so line 9 of the user mailer, so it's line 6 of the user mailer test right here. So that's this. That's kind of strange. I'm not sure why it's saying line 6, because the problem is that we're not giving this a user. So we need to do this. And then we can pull a user out of the fixtures. But just as we did over here, we actually have to give it an activation token, because this fixture user does not have an activation token by default. That's a virtual attribute that only happens when you create a user. So we can do user.activation token. And then what do we want here? Well, this first assertion is right. Account activation is the subject. Let's take a look at that. Where's the mailer? Right, so account activation is the subject. The to mail should be the user's email address. From should be no reply at example.com. Comes from here. And then let's put in a couple of other matches here. We want assert match. Well, we want the token to appear, right? In the email. That's like this. We want the token to appear somewhere in the email. You can actually look here. So we can see here that the token is in the email. So let's test for that. Oh, and what else do we want? Actually, let's just move this over here too. We've got a greeting, so let's check for the name. User.name, and then same thing. So we've got the name, the activation token, so it's here. And we also want to verify that the email is there, so let's do that. Let's see if that works. We've got a failure here from the password reset test. We don't actually even need that yet, so I'm just going to get rid of it for now. But the other thing that went wrong, let's take a look at it. We've got an error here that says it's missing host to link to. So remember what we did in the development config section. We need to do a similar thing in test.rb. So this is in development.rb. It's config environments development.rb. So let's just look at test.rb. The same thing. Oops, here it is. Copy these. These can go anywhere in here, so let's just put it down here. And instead of the host being that, we can just make it example.com. Save that, and actually I'm not sure if this gets reloaded automatically. Let's find out. Go here and save this. All right, the error has gone away, but now there's a failure. Let's take a look at it. The Problem is that the email is not matching. And indeed, that's not surprising. You can see it's looking for michael@example.com, but remember that this thing is escaped out. It's got this %4d. So this is the sort of thing where you just go to Google and you type something like Ruby Rails escape URL, and you find out that there are two main ways to do it. There's something called URI encode and CGI escape, and you try them both, and then one of them works. So let me show you how that goes here. You do CGI escape this thing. This is old school. CGI is Common Gateway Interface. Dates back to the early days of the web. Save that, see if that works. Great, now we're green. So this is a nice test here, this test of the account activation. We basically confirmed all of this stuff that we looked at in the preview. And now we're ready to add this mailer to the user sign-up process. So let's look at that. Actually, I'm going to save this and let me just rerun the full test suite.